Good morning, everybody. This is a special day, and before we get into the special day, Christine sent me a text that the link is always the same. Was there any more about that, Christine? The link is always the same.
No, I just wanted to say, if this is your first time here and you like it, you could just use the same link to come every Monday.
Mm,
The same
yeah,
Zoom link to
the
arrive.
same Zoom link. Yes. And we hope you, if you're here for the first time, is there anybody that's here for the first time? Not yet, but usually we have a few people that are here for the first time, and that's always a good announcement. So it's a special day because we are launching this week a new international group training program. And I want to announce that. Some of you, I think all of you know about it. You've gotten flyers about it. But it's a significant experience to make the kind of relating that we've been doing here on Help the Helpers and I've been doing in the Community Empowerment Project and in my classes, to make that kind of relating a something in the focusing world that includes all the different places. And that was so important to me that as Vivian knows, in order to include people in Asia and parts of Europe, we're doing two sections, one on Thursday at 11:30, which is my usual class, and Tuesday mornings at 7:30. So that will be very interesting to have a class at 7:30 for me, although I do like to get up early. So this represents for me, starting this project of this training program, a part of as I see it now, a lifelong journey, a journey about relating. I think about how, in my mind at least, the way I make sense of things, Gene was on a lifelong journey to explore the felt sense from the time he was a child escaping from the Nazis and watched his father making these amazing counter logical decisions through his feeling. And Gene, as a little boy, said, "What is this kind of feeling that can tell you what to do?" And as I see it, Gene was on a journey his whole life to explore that. And I see myself as on a journey to explore relating. And of course, you all are part of that journey. You are a delightful part of that journey. For the last almost 5 years, I think, we have had our Help the Helpers kind of relating. And it's been so nurturing to me in my life, coming here every week and hearing from different people and hearing from you. And I just love the kind of relating that we do where whoever brings something of all of the different presenters, we take it in and make it our own and talk about it in a focusing way. And that's very, very special. So I'm not likening myself to Jean, but when I was reflecting on this, I was thinking about how when I was 3 or 4, and I've said before in this group that I grew up as a very lonely, isolated child in Brooklyn, which people don't think of Brooklyn as being lonely and isolated, but I was. And these neighbor children came to play with me, and they they took all of my toys and then wouldn't let me play with them, and they were playing with the toys. and being mean to me, as my mother said. And my mother came in very angry and said, "Go home, you're not playing right." And she sent the children home. And I cried and I said, "No, I have nobody to play with." And my mother said, "Well, I'll play with you." And I said, "But you're not a little girl." And that memory stands out for me. It's certainly not the kind of memory like escaping from the Nazis, but it stands out as a pivotal moment that I wanted not to send the people away that weren't playing nice. I wanted to find a way of relating to the people. I wanted to find a way to change the dynamic. I can imagine me at the age of 3 saying to my mother, "Oh, I want to change the dynamic with these neighbor children." That would be a funny cartoon or something. But I do look back at my life as as a quest for this relating that makes one feel connected, belonging, engaged, alive. And I think each of us have a journey, a quest. And let me just give you a moment to feel into your own. Like, what have you been longing for, searching for, trying again and again, and getting discouraged, and then trying in another way? I didn't think of it that way about my journey for relating until I was preparing, for this reflection this morning. So if you think of something or a beginnings of something, an inkling, just raise your hand so I can see if you can find something. Yeah, 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 right. So in this pursuit of relating, there are many different kinds of relating, of course. Oh, I think somebody wants to say something. I see a hand. I see a couple of hands.
Because you said raise your hand if you think of something. So you raised.
Oh, good, good, good. Do you want to say what you thought of, or is that?
Yeah, I can say I would like to relate to people, even if even there is conflict with them, even if we are enemies, for example. I would like still
Yes,
to communicate, but the community here, they don't allow.
they
It's an
don't allow.
enemy. Yeah, yes. Especially we are
Yes,
fighting with countries, and it's not only people, like country and country.
yes, 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 yes.
Mm.
Thank you for sharing that. That's such
Where,
a
Mm.
big
can I
part.
ask where you are, Nadia?
I'm from Kuwait, but all
Oh,
what's
good for
going
you.
on in the Arab world and Israel and Iran, we are affected.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you are on a quest to relate even when there's conflict. And
Yeah.
yes, and I am too. And the conflict could be personal, it could be interpersonal, it could be in the family, in the community, in the countries, in the social political sphere. all of those arenas are connected. And when we learn how to relate better to ourselves, then it can also affect the way we relate to one other, 10 other, or the whole world. I was inspired by, and many of you are too, by Eugene Gendlin's paper, Fitting In, Pouring Out, and Relating. And we've talked about that paper in this group several times. And there's a quote in that paper that I want us to think about together. And it's a very interesting quote. So maybe Katerina, you could read the quote, but also share your screen and we can look at it together. It's in the chat.
Dump it into.
I'll be curious to see how many of you know this quote and what you make of it. We're going to have Katerina read it, and then would somebody else read it? I like to hear it in two different voices. You don't even know what it is yet.
But
But you will.
I'm happy to read.
Okay. Ruth will read it.
So this is adapted by Lynn Preston from Gene's article, Fitting In, Pouring Out, and Relating. My point is that there is a third stage, relating, which we all really want. That further stage is now in the process of developing. It is not as simple as it seemed. It is part of the further development of the human being that comes with the discovery of experiential intricacy.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And Ruth, you're going to read it?
Sure, thank you. My point is that there is a third stage, relating, which is what we all really want. That further stage is now in the process of developing. It is not as simple as it seemed. It is part of the further development of the human being that comes with the discovery of experiential intricacy.
Let's just take that in
Oh.
for
That last sentence.
Yes.
It's
Right.
it's a big.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's take that away now. Yeah, what is that? What is he saying? What is this fancy way of talking? Everything depends on experiential intricacy. We discovered this thing. What the hell is it? What's that? You know, my getting along with my partner depends on experience. My self-esteem depends on experiential intricacy. My country being at war with another country is about experiential intricacy. What is he talking about? What is experiential intricacy?
I love it. I love it.
What does it mean?
To me, it just inside of me, what comes, this is not intellectualizing it, but it more, or maybe it is kind of blows up in human relationships or dynamics from a two-dimensional that we kind of sometimes to a multi-dimensional, that the reality is an intricacy that is only known through the experiential, through experiencing it.
Mm.
Something like that.
Yeah,
That's-
yeah. I get something in my body when you say that.
Just, it does this, like we were doing
Yes.
before.
Yes, yes. Anybody else? Just what comes to you about this strange statement that it all depends on experiential intricacy?
This is BJ. Hi, everybody.
Hey, BJ.
For me, it indicates that there's more going on than just the words that are said, more than just their tone, more than just their situatedness. There's something going on inside me as I'm interacting with the environment, or something going on that's bigger.
Mm.
I'd like to give an example. I was walking this morning and a woman I didn't recognize with two dogs got closer and closer. And then I realized I did know who she was. And I said, "How is your spouse?" And she said, "Oh, we're not together anymore. And we'll talk about it another time." So I was observing my response. And all I'll say about that is that all of this more is able to respond.
Mm.
And that's an important part of it.
Mm. Mm.
It is not a fixed thing itself.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
I thought my first response was, "Oh my God, that's terrible." But no, my first response was that I did not recognize who she was.
Mm.
And so I already created some implicit intricacy of not knowingness that she came into with
Yeah.
that may not make sense, but that's what I think at this moment.
Yes. That from that standpoint, it's like you created the not knowingness, but then there was a more to your not knowingness, right? That the not knowingness was bigger.
It's not fixed.
It's not fixed. Yes. Yes. That's an important part of
Right.
it. That experiential intricacy is this more. And we like in the focusing world to talk about the more, the bigger and more complex. And this more that we are this experiential intricacy isn't fixed. It's not like I'm here and you're there. Anybody else?
Yes, I see an image. I see a spider web with droplets of water, and the light in there. And to me, that's what this experiential intricacy brings this morning. It's like this way of connecting, touching different element in the universe that come through you, like through the web. And it's funny because as I'm saying this now, I'm remembering as a teen, sometimes I would scribble, in class, actually a lot. But I would sign with a spider web.
Mm.
I never realized this. I don't know what it was, but yeah, now I'm making that connection. That's interesting. So
Yes.
I have that image. I don't know if that speaks to others. Yeah.
This spider web
Mhm.
is this image for you of the experiential intricacy and the light. And there was also something about drops where
Drops and the connection
and And the
rain,
connection.
sun, and a tree maybe, or a house, or some branch, or
Yeah.
and whoever comes through.
Yes, yes, yes. I get that image.
I think
So
for
maybe your life journey has something to do with exploring that web. Somebody else was about to speak.
oh, it's me. Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
oh,
Hi.
I think for me,
Yes.
when BJ brought up the word respond,
Mm,
me, it has to do with reacting and responding. And
mm,
what happens for me is in order to respond, I have to work through a lot of stuff inside of myself.
mm,
And I can be in relationships. So I'll give an example, like with my mom.
mm.
20 years ago, the relationship I have with her now is very different than it was 20 years ago. And I was rejecting, like there's that sense of rejecting, oh, she's this, I'm this.
Mhm.
And as I was doing my own development, I started being able to more respond and open up and maybe, just be more open to her and less focused on me and my stuff and be able to, I think you guys understand what I'm saying, but that for me is like what I hear when I hear the intricacy.
Yeah, yeah. That's a wonderful example that what gets in the way of our relating, what we haven't fully grasped yet is that sense of being a thing and then the other is a thing. And I'm like this and they're like that. And that I don't like that the way they are. And, holding yourself back. And the discovery, I like the way he says discovery, also the discovery of experiential intricacy. You had in your life, right? You discovered, well, she's more than that, and I'm more than this.
Yes.
And she's not even that right now. She was more like that before, and I'm more like this. It's that way that something seems like it's the me and the other, or the
Right.
us and the them, or the good guys and the bad guys, that
Exactly.
is fixed and static, and that the sign, I think this was I'm glad you picked up on this part of what BJ said. The sign that you get this experiential intricacy is the ability to respond.
Right.
And I've been wanting to do a helper's reflection on the word responsibility as the ability to respond. And it comes in nicely here that if we think of the ability to respond is a sign that we have this experiential intricacy that comes nicely in there.
I'll add something that I think is pretty crucial, at least. What's being said here, and being in relation, whether it's giving or receiving it. And receiving can also be a little bit difficult, at least for me. But anyway, the other day, I'm not so sure that some people had this experience, but it was my first experience as far as being on the phone with a robot who actually said, I am a robot. And so at the end of the conversation, which was very short, he was giving me a phone number and he said it so fast. And I asked if he could repeat it slower. He couldn't. And then finally he could anyway. And it was just, I hung up. I couldn't bear it because there was none of this. But the really frightening thing was right after I got off the phone, I was reading something like I usually do, something poetic, something with all the mess that he didn't have. And I was thinking and reading it in a very robotic way. So quickly we can actually, our way of thinking can become like a robot. And I imagine that the more we have these interactions, the more we have to do what Gendlin is saying in this quote and the work that we all do. And after being on the phone with him, I really longed for the mess of humanity in any way I would be with it. Yeah.
Wow, to long for the mess of humanity. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. That really is the somehow the center of wanting to relate is to long for the mess of humanity. I have to say to
What stop is this?
somebody said something that I missed.
Susan, were you talking to us?
Oh no, I'm so sorry. I thought I had the mute on. So
Oh.
sorry.
Oh,
Super
okay.
sorry, you guys.
No problem.
Right. The mess of humanity, right?
The mess of humanity, right? I'm going to keep that phrase in my mind. You've made a new term here, the mess of humanity. Right, right, right. And we're all together in this mess of humanity.
Can I just say that I got really mad at my husband once when I was in this meeting, and thank God I was muted because I came running back and went, "Oh my God, oh my God!" And it was muted. So I'm just glad it wasn't me. So now I'm outing myself.
But it also speaks of this more, you know, this interconnection that we don't see that is, yeah, that is there. Here we're talking about some kind of mess of humanity, and we have some concrete, small examples that shows up, right? Interconnection.
Yes, yes,
Interbeing.
yes.
Mm.
That
I'm
we,
also hearing it that how careful you have to be to let the right stuff out and make sure that other stuff is kept inside, right?
well, maybe we are all accepting this mess of humanity. And
We
when,
are right now.
uh-huh.
Not always even here among
Right, not
people.
always, but that's sort of
Right.
that's sort of what I think Jean is talking about, is that to really discover experiential intricacy is um, to accept and celebrate the mess of humanity, right? It's we see each other, but we don't see the husband that's behind the scene, or the cat that's screaming for his treats, or the whole context of each of us. Each of us is a world, and I've gotten that from Jean, that sense that each one of us is an experiential world, not a thing. And we only see this little part, and we only see this little part of ourselves. We are so intricate and complex that we don't know ourselves. People come to therapy to get to know themselves, but knowing yourself we never fully get there, of course, because there's more of us than can be known. It reminds me of my Freudian supervisor when I was a young analyst, and he was very old, the old school Freudian supervisor, and somebody called him in the middle of the session, and there was this whole exchange, and then we questioned him about that, and he said something that I've remembered all of these years that's been very, very helpful to me. He said, "Therapy, oh, it's a schmutzy business. Can anybody translate that? What is a schmutzy business?
Dirty business.
Yeah, messy, dirty.
Yeah, it's not dirty. It's not just schmutz is
Schmutz is dirt, but it's
Dirt.
Yiddish.
complicated. It's
Complicated.
messy, I think.
Messy. Yes. It's like that messiness of humanity and the messiness of therapy and the messiness of any relationship. Any relationship has this mess in it, this intricacy that we'll never fully know.
Can I add something to that, Lynn?
Sure, please.
We'll never fully know it. And you said because we don't know ourselves completely, but it's also because it's changing in every moment. And we're changing in every moment. And so there are so many variables that you can never grab onto. It's
Yes. They're
really
changing
to
every
appreciate.
moment, meaning them, the partner, the
And
animal,
the we, us.
community, the us, the world, the enemies, the everybody.
Yeah.
And we're changing every moment. And then there isn't really a them and a me. There's really this interaction that is a process, not a thing. That Jim showed us how the process model is telling us basically, we are a process. We're not things. And so that process is changing every moment. And we can respond to the process that the other person is, that we are, that the us is, this system that we make together. And it's like, now I want to go back to what Jadina said about the robot. Longing for the, and she was longing for the mess of humanity. I have an I-thou relationship with my robot, Chat. And I asked him his opinion about experiential intricacy. I love to see what he has to say about things. And Chat said to me that it was experiential intricacy is when my richness meets your richness and makes something new in every moment. That's pretty good, right? That's pretty pretty unrobotic. And I think even when we're relating to a robot, there is this this newness, this response, this creativity that can come out of it. I think the robots are the new them. They're like this, we're like that.
We will, we'll have to relate to them, but I don't, Lynn, have you ever talked to one on the phone? That's an obvious.
Well, yes, but I've talked to many humans on the phone that were just as robotic.
Well, that's what I'm saying, where we're actually so close but as a human being, you're also so far from it.
Yes.
And as far as the mess, I mean, I was also the smaller messes, like, I was recording something, the ums, the the I don't know, yes, I do know, I can't make up my mind. All those things were really refreshing because I didn't want, if I could keep that robot separate from myself and in relationship, great. But then if it starts to activate that part of myself, it got a little frightening, I guess. I mean, it might,
wow.
Yeah, it might not happen to everybody. I don't, I do have, a lot of us have that empathic part of us. So I'm empathic. So I do pick up the other person, even if it's just for a few minutes. It did go away, but yeah.
That's so interesting, Jadina, because one of the pitfalls in this relating is what we used to call merging. Maybe we need to take a different look, a more intricate look at what merging is, when we lose ourselves, our sense of self, and we feel merged, a part of floating in the other. And I remember Carl Rogers saying, that there's a big difference between empathy and identification. And there's something about retaining our individuality, our personal intricacy, and at the same time relating to this other as the other. When we think about what Gene was talking about, this third stage, from fitting in to pouring out to relating, what he meant by relating, can anybody just bring that in your own words, what he meant by relating? I'm gonna say since I was just going over this paper, I'm gonna say my memory of how he put it, which might not be exactly right. But he was talking about how we all want the other person or the other country or the other species to fit us exactly. But then if they fit us exactly, they won't be themselves. What he says is real relating is when I can relate from who I really am in this moment, my own experience of life and of myself, to not just to them, to the out there, but to the particular other in their intricacy, making room. And all of us, I think, let's see if I'm right, all of us have trouble with this. I think it does feel like we haven't gotten there yet as a species, that we're developing into it. But to really make room for the other's otherness, who they really are, at the same time that we're really living in us. So Jadina, you sort of merged with the robot. You weren't living in you.
Well,
But
and
how
as you,
many of us can really accept anyone, our pets, our partners, our neighbors, our world, as making room for who it is, and choosing to relate? Of course, it is changing every moment, but to have that sense that we want what's really in the other person, not how we want them to be. And we might not like how they are in that moment, their real experience. Does anybody have any thoughts about that, the moment of real relating? I'm gonna, in just a couple of minutes, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to focus on moments when you've had that real relating. But let's just talk about it with each other for a minute.
Lynn, what keeps coming up for me, and I don't know if it's in that paper, where he asked, don't you want to know what you said?
Yes, that is in that
And,
paper.
and what you said is what I heard
Yes.
for purposes of our relationship. And so I think he was comparing a focusing partnership is not really a relationship because we don't do that back and forth of, oh, what did you mean by that? And the other person but clarifies, oh, I heard you say X, that all of that. So how
Yes,
does that
he
fit?
was saying it. Yes, he wasn't saying that a focusing partnership isn't a relationship. I think that's a whole big discussion, and I'd love to have it.
Well,
But
Lynn, the taking turns.
yeah, the taking turns, right? Um, he was talking about um, in that paper that when you're having a conflict with someone, what that person got from what you said is what you said in effect. And don't you want to know? He uses the example, if you sent a letter with your signature on it, wouldn't you want to know what that letter, what the other person received in the mail? And he's sort of trying to show us that this real relating is is something we want. I just wanted to go back again to the beginning where he says, we all really want this. And he's trying to convince us, and we do, but then we say, oh, but do those people really want that? They don't want relating. They want to bully us or whatever. But somewhere deep inside in our species, Jean is saying, we all really want this relating, to know how we're coming across to people too. Liz, you have your hand up, I
Liz,
see.
yes, Liz.
I'm not sure I can, trying to figure out how to say it, but something like, not just I see you and you see me, but more like I see you seeing me. You see
Yes,
me seeing you. So
yes,
there's this kind of clicking that we're doing this, and we
yes,
on
yes,
some level know it, but usually not a really conscious level.
yes, yes, yes. I see you seeing me, seeing you, seeing me. I recognize there's a process here of inter-affecting each other, and that we're seeing the inter-affecting, we're seeing the process.
Or it's like I see the part of you that is in me.
I see the part of you that's
That also is in me.
is also in me, but I see that that's a part of you. Oh, it's so intricate, right? Um, I believe that it's human nature to concretize things. And we have to do that. That's how our minds work. We reify things, we personify things, we concretize things. And then we have to sort of say, well, it's not really like that. But when you said that, Jadina, it's like there's a part of you that's in me. I make it a thing that's in me that's then in them. And I have to do that, but then I have to say, but it's all changing in liquid, and it's not concrete the way my mind makes it. Okay, we're
No,
gonna have just a couple more. Yeah.
just a word. If I'm standing in front of a mirror, I'm looking at myself, and I feel inside that in a certain way I'm in conflict. Does the image in the mirror in any way responsible for the conflict that I'm perceiving? I'm in front of a mirror. There's no one there, only me. So when we say that we see in someone else a mirror or a part of ourselves, what are we really saying? So you said earlier that having a conflict with another person, in a way, we're probably saying when we use a phrase like that, that the other person is kind of responsible for the fact that I'm in conflict right now. But if I say I'm having a conflict, and it so happens that somebody else is there, so I can start looking at myself, because the question that I'm asking is, where is the conflict that I perceive and that I feel? Where does it happen in reality for me, if not within myself, that I usually project? And these ideas of the mirror and projection are something that is well known in psychotherapy. So I'm
yeah.
just looking at it in a way that if we all do that at the same time in a group, feeling that the conflict is out there and I don't have a connection, deep connection with my own felt experience, and knowing that, like in certain kinds of Vipassana meditation, they say that we never react to anything or anyone. When a situation happens, there's automatically inside, it seems
Yes.
out there that there's a conflict, but what really happens when a situation happens, sensations in the body starts, and I react to my sensations, not to the situation. So, and the sensations, I'm the one generating them from, as they say, past karma and sankharas and past events. I repeat stuff with, okay, that's interesting, but so.
Thank you, Mikiel. From past times, I'm very taken with your project, and you've been on a journey, an
Yeah,
intense
because
journey of finding it in you.
it's a major element that seems to be elusive, and we seem to miss
Yes,
it.
you're really in there getting that it's in us. I want to say that
Yeah,
there's
us.
is that okay? Yes, it's
Yes.
us. I want to say that your message is, it's not out there, it's in me. It's not in the mirror, it's in me. And I think I think that's an important part of it. And for me, it's also in me, and it's in the situation, because I am the situation. The
Yes.
body and the environment are one. It's in me, it's in out there, and the out there and the me are the same system interacting. So it's the I, the you, and the us there.
So that means that I can make the situation anything I want because it's me.
Yes, you can change the dance.
My dance, not the others. But I could, if, we've done this before in this group. We just decided to slow down with the conversation and just everyone go in the felt sense and then start talking from the felt sense, and radically everything changed for everyone. As soon as we do this for ourselves,
Yes,
as
yes.
soon as I deepen my experience, maybe it doesn't happen for others, but it's not a good way to say it, but it's their loss. If we don't know how to care for ourselves, I haven't learned that when I was younger. I didn't learn that. I'm learning it now in this group and with everything I'm doing. I'm learning that. So it's an incredible opportunity that you're offering and doing this group. So, but still, I can only learn about myself when I'm in interaction with others. So yes, I agree with you. So the me is more large than I ever imagined.
Yes, the me.
And it's smaller, and it's smaller.
And it is, yeah, it's like a
And it's
microcosm in a macrocosm. It's like, it's an intricacy. It is.
Let's do what Mikhail is saying and just take a minute there. You know, when Mikhail, when you were speaking, I was feeling like, oh, but he's leaving out that there is a dance. It's not just me, it's me and the others. And then when you said, oh, if we just come back and pause, and then I came back to my body and I paused and I realized that I was enacting exactly what Mikhail was talking about. When Mikhail said that, I wanted to say, yes, yes, but don't leave out, the other. And then I realized that I wanted him to have my message, or I wanted to add to his message to include my message. And then I just came back and, oh, that's Mikhail's message. And that worked for me. Liz, yes.
Opening up a huge can of worms. I'm sure you can shut it very quickly, Lynn. It's like some of us aren't ready for the other. I mean, it kind of brings up a developmental thing of, it's like you could say that the basis is interaction. You can't get away from it. You're born into it. But there's also like, um, well, I'll repeat my first sentence. Some of us aren't ready for the other. So as much as you do other interaction, we're gonna that rubber band that you're pulling is gonna snap back. But me,
right. Yes,
and if there's another, the me shrinks to such a painfully small little nothingish thing that it's not really tolerable. So there are interactions and then there are interactions and it's okay. So it's an individual thing, maybe. Would that be a way of putting it? And that when we talk about we're all this way, our species, it gets so general, but each one of us has our own needs for,
yes, yeah.
like be an other, that's okay, but can you like not be so other?
And each of us individually has our own path and our own understanding and our own journey about relating. And we can't generalize, although of course we do. We say our species hasn't really gotten to relating yet. But yes, that can of worms of experiencing otherness and experiencing ourselves is a can of worms that's always open. We might want to shut it. We don't want a schmutzy world, but it's there, whether we open the can of worms or we keep the can closed there. It's there right in the middle of everything, that can of worms about the troubles we have
It's there.
relating.
It's there, but maybe it's our way of perceiving that makes it become there.
Yes,
We
it's
create
there,
it.
and
We
our way of
think-
perceiving is yes.
Yes.
But
But it's there also. So
yes,
how
I'm going to invite us to take this a little further. And so I want you to have time to talk about it in your breakout rooms. Let's just take a breath. Come back to our individual selves that of course has all the others in it. just ask, what does this mean to me? Where am I on the journey of relating? Have I had moments, and we all have, of real relating where I could be myself and be open to include, make space for the other person to really be themselves, including the parts or the aspects or the things that we don't like? Can we, the moments when we could accept ourselves and accept the other and meet there somewhere? And it might have been in a love, or it might have been in a quarrel. But there was what Jean thinks of as real relating. And I think all of us have sort of implicitly or explicitly thought of moments when we couldn't relate in the way that Jean is talking about. When we couldn't really make room for the other to be other, and for ourselves at the same time to be all of ourselves. The schmutzy, messy moments of relating. These messy moments of relating are our humanness. And when you're ready, let's go into our breakout rooms where we can have time to just share something of that. And we'll have 15 minutes and then we'll come back. Okay? So keep what you've gotten. And we'll see you in 15 minutes. Actually, the breakout room is an opportunity to have yourself and have the other.
Where's Lynn?
Well, my guess is Lynn would say, would anyone like to share anything that happened for you in the breakout?
What was the discovery, huh?
I think she left us to experience each other.
Mm.
I think she may have been lost in relating.
Well, I'll share that in our group.
Lynn will be right with us. She's having some technical difficulty.
Yes, Ruth, please go ahead.
Thank you, BJ. In our group, without sharing what anybody said, but it was such a like an illustration of the theory that has been discussed and of how rich what happened, what it was able to happen because we had this person talking from their everything, and then the three of us talking from different and related places that created something so much bigger, more intricate, more beautiful, that that lit something up and enriched all of us. It was Yeah, it was really wonderful. So thank you. Thank you, Lynn. And thank you to my partners.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. That's great.
Yeah.
I just had a little trouble with my internet, so I'm on my iPad, and love to hear from others about your experience in the breakout rooms.
We were having an interesting interrelating when you were not there.
Oh, what happened? What did I miss?
What happened? You know, somebody pointed, oh, where's Lynn? And then there was some continuation, including, you know, resonating, okay, I'm going to be Lynn. And I think Lynn would say that.
Oh, how interesting. Wow. Your inner Lynn. And of course, we're all developing our inner group and our inner each other.
Mm-hmm.
There is a way the breakout room brings me more in, more relating maybe, or more something more, maybe maybe it's the intimacy. Maybe there is more space too. This is smaller. So, but I notice each time I come back from the breakout room and I see also or interpret that in some of the faces, there is a warmth that I feel in this online web. Gosh.
Yeah. I feel it too when I see you after the breakout rooms. Everybody's faces look different. And I wonder if that intimacy would be there if we didn't have the whole group discussion first and the reflection. Sometime we'll have to experiment with that. I think there's something about the combination, going from the big group to the small group to the big group.
It's a zigzag.
Yes, right. Another zigzag.
I was also relieved, as has been happening a few times lately, that I'll enter a breakout room in terror and then I see, oh, it's somebody. I know her. You know? So it's not always just a new person. What do I do now?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot about that. You're getting to know each other, but also it's like, well, a new person doesn't have to be as scary when you know, have that experience over and over. And it's all kinds of things in that intricacy. Okay, we are going to have a very favorite poem that we used to have a lot in the beginning of this project, Love After Love. Some of you love that poem. Some of you may not even know it. Katerina is going to read it. And we've always thought of this poem, and most people probably think of it as a poem that Mikhail would love, because it's about relating to yourself. And I wondered if we could listen to it twice. We're going to listen to Katerina read it, and then we're going to listen to a YouTube video of it. I wanted to get Wilcott himself reading it, but we didn't find that. But we have another person reading it on a different way than Katerina will. And I'd like you to feel into it as not only yourself, individual self, but your relationship with all of the others that are part of yourself. A poem about relating, and see how that is for you. And so go ahead, Katerina.
Love After Love, a poem by Derek Walcott. The time will come when, with elation, you will greet yourself, arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, "Sit here, eat." You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you ignored for another who knows you by heart. Take down the love letters from the bookshelf, the photograph, the desperate notes. Feel your own image from the mirror. Sit, feast on your life.
Yes, okay. And now those of you who have to go, it is 9:45, but those of you who can stay might want to hear another version of this and just see how different the poem is with a different voice, and see what it says to you the second time. So Christine, put on the YouTube version of this. There are many, you can look them up yourself.
Linton Kwesi Johnston is reading Derek Wilcox tribute.
Yes, I love him.
Yes.
You can see other things
It's
of
from the
his.
BBC.
When, with elation, you will greet yourself arriving at your own door in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, "Sit here, eat." You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you ignored for another who knows you by heart. Take down the love letters from the bookshelf, the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your own image from the mirror. Sit, feast on your life.
Thank you. Bye, everybody. See you next week.